Hello and welcome back. Right, I've had a lot of you asking what's happening with the Regal. So I thought I'd spend a little bit of time and answer your questions. As you all know, I bought the Regal a couple of years ago. It was an absolute rock box. It had been on a pallet in a farm for years. I think it had been off the road for like 36 years. And the plan was to just put a bike engine in here and build something stupid. That was my plan. I was looking for something to build something stupid. And a bike engined car was what I was looking for. I was originally looking for a smart car, but my mate John, he sent me a link and said, look at this. This is the ideal project. So I went, I bought it, it got delivered. That was the start of kind of COVID, and that was the plan. Restore the chassis the best I could, get a bike engine on it, build a bike powered Regal using the 1000cc RSV mill engine. When the car arrived and I saw it, I set myself a couple of rules. And those rules were, it had to be at least a two-seater. I didn't want to do anything that would stop it going back on the road. So that meant no cutting of the body shell to fit a big 4-stroke bike engine in sideways, because that's what a lot of people do on these. Not on these, but on the Robins and the Rialtos. I also didn't want to cut and put the engine in the boot, because all the weight would be right at the back. I didn't want to turn it into a wheelie machine. But mainly, what I wanted was the train go past and an aeroplane. So what I really wanted was, no matter what I did to this car, you had to be able to put it back to standard afterwards. So no chopping of the chassis, no chopping of the body shell. You know, use everything as original as I could to get the bike engine in there. Now, since starting that process, I've discovered that the DVLA have a process for deciding whether something's a radical vehicle or not, and that is quite simply, if a vehicle has been taken outside of its manufacturing specs, it's technically a radically modified vehicle. And to retain the registration of that vehicle, you need to follow a point system, and you need to be able to score 8 points out of a possible 14. Now, they are 5 for the chassis, which you must have. 5 points for the chassis are mandatory, and that chassis has got to be original and unmodified, or a new chassis direct from the manufacturer. My chassis has been cut to bits, it's modified technically, which means that if I build on that chassis, this will end up on a Q plate. The other points come from 2 for the engine, 2 for the transmission, 2 for the suspension, 2 for the axle, and 1 for the steering, I think it is. So for this build, I wouldn't get the 5 for the chassis, I wouldn't get 2 for the engine, I wouldn't get 2 for the transmission. I would end up with 2 for the axle, 2 for the suspension, and 1 for steering. 5 points out of a possible 14. Definite Q plate. So what does that mean? Well, it means I need to think hard about doing that to this car. I could just carry on what I was doing with the chassis, put the engine on there and hope for the best, hope it doesn't get classed as a modified chassis, but I think that's wishful thinking. If it goes onto a Q plate, it can never be put back to being a standard Regal. That's it, it's cut up and destroyed. Yes, I know I could keep the paperwork, but it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. It would just get transferred to a Q plate. It would be gone. So, what to do? So I think the first thing to do is go get some inspiration. It's the NEC AutoSport Show this weekend, so I'm going to go to that. There are bound to be bike engine cars there. There are bound to be manufacturers selling bike engine conversion kits and bits, because even if I do carry on with this on this car, I'm going to need a pedal box. I'm going to need a 90-degree bevel box to run the engine to the diff. I'm going to need a inline shifter and various other bits and bobs, some form of reverse gears. So there's no reverse gear on the motorbike, especially not the one that I've picked. So we'll have to get a reverse gearbox on there. Now I know Quaife do those. They're about 500 quid, but it'd be good to see what else is on the market. And various other bits that I'm undoubtedly going to need, so that'll be really good. And it's a chance to go look at some nice cars. So let's go to the NEC, let's take a look at what they got, and then come back and have a ponder. Look at this on the motorway. Not the policeman there, let's go out the front window. Bloody hell. the swimming pool. I think I just saw a duck.
Should we take the end corner?
Yeah, get it. Push. Missed it. Bloody hell. Right, back to clear roads. Service station for petrol. Can we see the price? It is 195.9. That's like nearly 20-25 pence more than at home. But it's okay. It's not just petrol. It's M&S petrol. NEC. Oh, look, hey, we can buy this one. It's for sale.
20 grand.
21 grand. I remember when these first come out, Jace. It's like the swoop on the sill was like really quite original when it came out.
I really didn't like the front.
How pretty is this section? Look at that. 22 grand.
You know what?
49 grand. That's nice. 89,000. There are through 8 GT. One of my favourites. So Bluebellwood Children's Hospice, stickering up a car to raise money for the hospice, and there we are. Superb cause. Thank you. Now that's the minute the kids on. I think it has to be a louver window, and a ducktail is never a bad design choice. Right, so I am back from the NEC. There were some nice cars there. No, not many of those will ever be on my drive, I don't think. But I am inspired, and I think my thoughts about the Regal are right. I shouldn't go putting that car at risk and putting the bike engine in that. So my plans for the Regal now have changed. I'm going to put that down as a restoration. I'll finish off the chassis, we'll get all the brakes and everything all running, get the steering sorted. You know, the usual stuff for a restoration of a Robin. Should have said that. A Reliant. Usual thing for the restoration of a Reliant. I'll rub down the shell, I'll get that down to JRPs, and we'll have that resprayed. So definitely going to put that back to standard. I'll dig out the engine from under the bench. It's the 600 engine. I've got the original engine and box, so we may as well put that back in it as well. So that's the plan for the Regal. Not in the short term, but we will get that done as a restoration. So what does that mean for the RSB mill engine and all the bits I got to go with it? Well, the truth of the matter is I still want to build a motorbike powered car. I want something daft. I've wanted one for years. So all I need to do now is find a vehicle that it doesn't matter if it gets chopped up a little bit more. It's not going to lose any historic value. Maybe something that's still daft, still three wheels, already been kind of chopped about. Not going to matter if I chop it up some more to put an engine somewhere. Yeah, I think that has got to be the plan. Question is, where am I going to find such a vehicle? Found one! Yes, I think we'll put it in this. I can chop this about. No one cares. It used to be a saloon. It's at the back chopped off. I need to kind of strip this off anyway. I've got to get that rotten wood out from behind there. It's sucked all the water in. This has been outside and all the cracks in this have kind of sucked water in, so I've got to rip all that out. So this is the plan. I'm going to get an MOT on this as it currently is, so we can start driving it around. As soon as we've done that, what we'll do is we'll rip all this back piece off, so all the back's open, and we'll take it for a quick spin over to my mate Jace, and we will build a cage and hoop to go in here. We've got the hydraulic press to do that with the pipes, so we'll build a rollover hoop at least, stick that in here, and then the engine, I'm not going to stick it in the front. I'm not going to cut into the passenger seat and get rid of that. I want to keep it as a two-seater. The engine's going to go in the back, but not right back. I'm not going to put it over the axle with a chain drive down to the axle. The plan is this. So let's take a look back here. This is the plan. We move all these bits. Take this out. I think all that's finished falling over. Take this out. Roll over hoop on the inside. We've got all this space here where the seat used to be, and cut a hole here. Mount the engine sideways on a frame that runs from the front engine mounts to the gearbox mounts. That'll sit there. A rubber prop shaft join onto a short prop shaft straight onto the gearbox, and that'll sit fairly low in there. We can put a cover over it, build the back in. We're not going to lose much space there. We can lift off a cover to access the engine, all the other stuff, radiator, air ducts, and all that lot can run through the gearbox housing, you know, the part of the body where the gearbox used to be, straight to the front, job done. And when I say it nice and fast like that, it sounds really easy. So, quick MOT on this one. Rip this out, roll over hoop, cut flow in there, get a cradle made up, get the engine in, straight to the axle. Pedal box down there is a hydraulic clutch, I believe, on the RSV mill engine. Cable run for the throttle, straight shift on the gears. Easy peasy. Well, like I say, when you say it quick. So that's the plan. That's the update on what's happening to the Regal. So you can all stop asking me about it. It's been a long time, I know, since I touched it, but I've really had that kind of question bothering me. Do I really want to risk getting a car, which, let's be fair, is fairly rare on a Q plate? You know, every Regal you see, it's a van, isn't it? How many saloons are out there now? And I've got all the bits here to put it back on the road. So I think it's the right thing to do to restore that, not chop it up and risk it going onto a Q plate. This, however, we're not going to chop the chassis, so it shouldn't end up on a Q plate. We'll just drop it straight in the back. It's an easier build. If it does end up on a Q plate, who cares? You know, there's plenty of these Rialtos out there, and you know, it's already been chopped about. So I think that's the sensible way to go. If chucking a bike engine in a three-wheeler is sensible, which it's not. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much. There's your update. That's definitely, almost certainly, might be possible. Now, it's definitely the plan I'm going to go with. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will catch you next time.